Plaintiff John Glazer says he's known the defendant for 10 years, and it's been 10 years too long. John claims the defendant is nothing but a New York fashionista wannabe who even lied about going to Paris Fashion Week when he was really in Ohio. And John's suing him today for an unpaid cable bill. Defendant Anthony Hancock insists he is into fashion and has been to New York Fashion Week, but he denies ever telling anyone that he went to Paris Fashion Week. Anthony only admits to owing John for a portion of the lawsuit.
Start with you.
Well, I've known Anthony for almost 10 years, and I could say that it's been 10 years too long. I've been too much of a good friend, and just to learn that he's continuously taken advantage and lied and has been very selfish. For instance, he claims to be this New York fashionista when one time he had told me that he was going to Paris Fashion Week to find out that he was in Ohio. When I went to look in his passport, it wasn't even stamped. And he was running around telling everybody how jet-lagged and tired and busy he was from being in Paris.
Is that true, sir?
I don't recall that.
No, I think you would recall if you went to Ohio instead of
Paris.
Paris.
I'm sure I was in Ohio, but I don't remember saying that I went to Paris Fashion Week.
Okay. Do you go often?
To Paris Fashion Week?
Yes, sir.
No.
Have you been?
No.
Okay. And you don't recall ever saying?
But I do go to Fashion Week in New York.
Okay. That's a big deal. And he's sharp. He seems to be
Thank you.
very,
it's Dior.
It's Dior. All right. He's sharp. Got the new small collar, fitted European cut.
Yep.
Yeah. Go ahead.
From Paris.
All right. All right.
Probably from Fashion Week.
Okay.
This is another example of some of the things that he's done that, there was this one time we ended up going to dinner and he had over-ordered and was wanting to take his mac and cheese to go. And I said, why are you going to do that when we're going to end up going out? You're just going to carry it around with you all night. So as soon as we stepped out, I saw a homeless person. I said, why don't you just give it to him? Just give it to that guy. So he went up to the guy and gave him the mac and cheese and literally said how expensive it was because of all the Gruyere and the brie that was in it.
He told the homeless
person that. And
that guy was not homeless. He was just like drunk on the street.
How do you know he had a place to live?
He had like nice sneakers on.
All right. Now, is this the bill you're suing him about, not paying for the dinner?
I'm just giving you examples of what's led us to here.
There's another bill you're suing him for. Go ahead.
All these notes.
Give me some more examples. He's an interesting gentleman, so tell me more.
Anyways, after we did that, we walked away. The homeless person didn't even want it anymore. And we ended up walking down the street, and he ended up throwing it away. But I moved him in from Ohio back to New York in 2007. And
you all became roommates?
We became roommates. We lived together with 2 other roommates.
Okay.
And
what was the agreement?
Splitting the rent 4 ways and splitting the bill 4 ways.
Okay. Let me hear from him. Let me get a little background before you go further into the merits of the case. Sir?
First of all, it started...
Was he always dressed like that, or have you...
Well, I mean, I've given him a suit before. Givenchy.
Okay.
But, he should have worn it. But,
go ahead.
No, the thing is, it all started, we were best friends for many years, like he said. We all lived together, and in summer 2008, he met someone. We went out to Fire Island. He met someone within a week of meeting somebody. He moved out. He no longer stayed at the apartment, but we still split rent 4 ways.
What year was that?
Summer 08.
Okay, let me allow him to tell me about the bills that he's suing for. It's his claim. Go ahead.
Okay, well, we moved out of...
as in whom?
Me and Noemi moved out in November of 2008.
The 4 of you all were residents. You all were 2. He was 3, and there was another. In 08 is when the 2 of you moved out.
Right.
Why? Just curious if it's relevant.
It was such a sticky situation between Noemi and the other guy. So I wanted to move the two of us out. She's the mother of my nephew, so I wanted to get them all out of the house. So we moved out, and the agreement was that Anthony was going to take care of the cable bill, and the other roommate was going to take care of the electric and the gas, which he did. He followed up, changed it over. He didn't do his job. He was supposed to transfer the cable bill.
No, that's not true.
Hold on, sir.
He never transferred the cable bill. I called the cable company and they said the only way we can change that is if they sign an agreement. So I signed an agreement with him back in November. He never sent it out. In June, when she went to go pick up mail that had still been left there, we found another cable bill. That's how I found out that it had never been transferred and never been paid for. And when I called the cable company to redo another change of transfer request.
Gotcha.
Would you like to see it, sir?
Let's see it, please.
Yes. This is one that he signed.
What happened then? Oh, he did sign one ultimately.
Yes.
So it is currently in his name, but he owes the money for the time in which it was still in your name.
No, it got turned off because it went too high.
All right.
I have bills here too, if you'd like to see the...
Yeah, let me see them, sir.
He didn't come to me until probably February asking me. He was like, you need to change the, we need to get this cable.
True. That's not true.
We've made one late payment. The cable had never been turned off the entire time until like June, I think it got shut off. Or maybe it was even July. I always made the payments. And I did attempt to do it once. I don't know why it didn't get taken care of. We did fill out the paperwork back in probably February. It didn't get taken care of. I don't know why I mailed it in. And then he then came to me a month later and said, Anthony, it didn't get switched out. I said, you're right. I sent him all the information by email that he needed to change it over.
Which I have
here. A month later, he calls me and says, oh, I lost all that information. Can you give it to me again? And I said,
that's not true.
Quiet, sir. So, do you believe you owe the bill?
There was 3 people living at the apartment with no person on the...
I thought there were 4. And
no,
they left?
They left, and then we moved in. We have a 3-bedroom.
Gotcha.
So we moved in a new person.
And so your only defense today is that the bill should be divided among 3 people?
It should be, yes.
That's your only defense? All right. And when you left, you all had an idea of who was going to pay what?
Anthony Hancock is responsible for that bill. It was him.
That was the agreement. Anthony would pay it all.
If you're responsible...
Sir, answer my question. Was that the agreement? Anthony would pay all of this bill?
Yes.
All right. Sir, was that the agreement?
That I would always pay the entire cable bill?
Yes.
No, we always split the cable bills between roommates.
Okay. And you didn't tell him, I'll be responsible
I said I would be responsible for transferring it into my name.
No, paying for it.
Well, yeah, I would be one of the people paying for it, yes.
One of? He's suing you for payment.
Me and 2 other roommates.
Okay. All right, sir. You're jointly and severally liable. Let me explain to you what that means. That means that he can sue either you or all 3. He has chosen to sue you. Severally means separately. He can sue you separately or he can sue you jointly. Jointly means the judgment would be divided among the 3. Since those other 2 aren't here, I can't assess liability to them. He is suing you. He isn't suing the other 2. And therefore, I am going to have to grant his judgment. $1,132 is the last bill I have for you, sir. Have a good day. Judgment for the plaintiff.
Thank you. I don't think we'll be friends anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah. No, we won't. We will not be friends.
Hi, Judge Mathis. My name is Lauren, and I have a question. If I had a video done of my wedding and it was of poor quality, do I have to pay?
Well, Lauren, your videographer is entitled to payment for the work they provided to you. If the work is not of the quality agreed to, or if it was such a poor job that it constitutes defective workmanship, you may be obligated to pay only the value of the work you received.